If you have a dream of wildlife photography and think that you need expensive gear or perfect conditions, you don't. I started with old camera and a really cheap lens, so I know exactly how it feels to start with nothing. But even with the cheap gear, wildlife photography is possible. And in this video I will show 3 pillars that will help you to grow faster as a beginner. Especially third pillar was the one that helped me a lot. Again, we are in this time of year that we are promising to ourselves that we are doing a lot of interesting things in the next year. Next year I will go into nature. I will start taking wildlife photography seriously. When you are thinking about it, the spark is real, but motivation fades fast. It is always easier to think that I'm going to do it tomorrow than start doing it now. But nature will not wait for you. Nature is already there. And I want to talk about specifically about the wildlife photography with only excitement about how gear is looking in other people's hands and how cool everything looks in the results. It's not going to be enough to be a wildlife photographer. Few years ago, I thought that I needed better gear. I had nothing at the beginning. Then I bought camera. Then I bought like 300 millimeters lens. It was really old gear. It was really old kit, and I wanted to start just doing something. Of course, I understood that I can't do it with my phone. Then I got this old Sony camera with 300 millimeter lens that I thought I will use for wildlife photography, and I did use it. I got some okay pictures with it, and I learned the basics with it, and that's where the second pillar will kick in. It helped me a lot, and I will explain it later in this video. But of course, when I entered YouTube, I saw these big YouTubers with all 600 and 800 and an even bigger lens with them, and I thought that that's the key how I can be the best wildlife photographer. But it's not the case. Mostly you just need to visit the nature. And even then, when you are motivated and you have a free time, a lot of these times you are stopped by your brain thoughts because you are thinking it's raining outside, it's too hot, it's too cold, and you don't want to really go, and you are saying to yourself that I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But when tomorrow comes, you still have these excuses about going outside. But when the, you still have ex, but when the you still have these excuses. But when excuses. And just after time, after a few weeks and months, I realized that nature doesn't request perfection, only presents. And the first really growth of yourself and your skills is going to happen when you are starting to go outside, even if you don't want to go. Because good wildlife pictures isn't scripted. You have to just go outside and see what nature is going to give you. I can easily say from my experience that out there's a lot of opportunities out there. You just have to go outside and see them. And I know that a lot of you, even I did watch a lot of YouTube tutorials about the wildlife and how do I start and what gear I need and everything else. Sometimes you have to just wake up early, go outside and see the morning fog and this cold feeling of spring mornings. And these frosted fields will teach you a lot more than all these tutorials together. You have to make this one promise to yourself, that you will go even if you don't want to, and you can go even for small walks. But when you're going outside, just take your camera, take anything that you have, even phone will work. Because in the end of the day, wildlife photography is anything that is considered wildlife photography for you. It's not only the super zoomed in, super crisp, exotic animals or something like that, but it can even be a fox miles away in the middle of the meadow, took by your phone, where you can't really see the fox, but still it's a wildlife photography. Even the hunting cameras in the forest, it's a wildlife photography. You can just go and sit in the nature quietly, and you will probably see some birds going around, and you will hear birds definitely. And these boring days, which from the beginning will probably look boring, will teach you how to track animals, will teach you how to understand how animals are moving, as well as your awareness. Wildlife is one of these things where nature rewards those people who are returning. You just have to return, you just have to go again and again. And I will tell you how most of the beginners fail. Why are they quitting so fast? It's because they are waiting some dramatic things in the forest. When you watch documentaries, you can see wolves and bears and huge deers with the big antlers going around, running next to the cameraman. And when you're going into nature with the camera, you think you will see the same thing. But it's not happening like that. You have to understand that it's nature and you have to be really patient to get good photos. In the real wildlife photography looks like early mornings, you are super sleepy, you walk for hours and didn't see anything, and you scared away a lot of animals and didn't took any picture of them. And doing wildlife photography is really unpredictable because you can't decide where animal will walk and you can't predict anything. Animal behavior will be different every other day. The lighting conditions will be different. Maybe yesterday there was a fog and there was a sun in the background dropping on this fog and looking really amazing and cinematic. But in the next day it will be super cloudy and you will not see anything. Maybe you will even see animals in this cloudy day, but you have to adapt fast. You have to understand what mood you are taking in this specific day. How can you use the lighting at the same day that you have and take the best picture that you can. And in the end, best pictures are took when you are understanding the environment and you can adapt fast. And it's not just luck. For professionals, they do understand nature. But as I said, you can't script anything perfectly. That's why beginners quit fast, because they think that the progress will be super fast, but it's really not like that. But slow is how nature teaches. So now let's continue with the 3 pillars that I mentioned before. So the first one is start small but go often. Even 20-minute walks will beat one long walk in a month. And walking nature, it will give you more advantages than you think. It will help to clear your mind and understand your thoughts deeply. I'm talking about all these good things that are happening with you when you are walking in nature in this video, and also I will leave a link in below. Because there are those days where animals don't really move. They maybe don't like the weather or something like that. Maybe it's connected to the moon why they are not moving. And if you will walk even 4 hours, you will not probably see anything. When you are walking often, but small walks, it will not get boring even for yourself. And as well, you are making bigger opportunity to see different animals, and you will understand the environment better. As well as bring your camera everywhere you can, even in the normal days. You don't really know when you're gonna see animals and when you can take a good picture of them. Maybe it's in the middle of the day when you are driving, when you are in your holidays. Maybe there are going to be a big deer next to the road and you can easily take a picture of him. But you have to have a camera with you. And these frequently walks will teach you about footprints, about where animals are feeding, where are they moving, what kind of animals is living there. And you will know environment much better. And as well, don't overwhelm yourself, because these long walks will make you boring and it's not gonna give you a good aftertaste if you don't have any picture of animals and you are really exhausted after 2-hour walks. And the second pillar, how to get better in wildlife photography as a beginner, is one focus per month. Don't try to learn everything in the first evening that you are opening YouTube. You just have to focus on one thing. Maybe in this month it's about the roe deer photography. You just go and you just try to understand roe deer behavior, where are they feeding, how the footprint looks, and where can you meet them. Of course, when you are seeing other animals, take a picture of them, use opportunity, but don't try to go anywhere and just try to get anything. One focus per month. You can combine it maybe with some practice of really slow and silent walking when you have to sneak up on animal. Maybe in the next month you can practice composition, the lighting, or maybe trying to learn and understand the bird behavior. And I can guarantee you that after 12 months, you will see a big difference. How did you take pictures in the first month and how did they look compared to the ones that you are taking after a year? Exactly the same thing happened to me. Because now I can't understand how did I make so bad pictures a year ago. The third pillar is forgive yourself fast. Doing wildlife photography, you definitely gonna oversleep when you want to go in early in the mornings. You will have days that you didn't see anything, didn't took any pictures, and you will have days when every animal ran away or really bad weather. But the key of this is don't take it really seriously and don't quit because of these small failures. As I said before, you just have to be consistent. You just have to go, even with the small walks, but just take your camera and walk around and you will definitely see nature. If you will use all these 3 pillars, then I can guarantee you that after 1 year, you will be more calm and grounded. You will be someone who will understand nature deeply. Someone who have 100 of photos, which is documenting your growth in wildlife photography. And someone who truly feels connected with the nature. And in the end, I just want to say that you don't have to wait for the next year. You don't have to wait for a Monday to start something new. You just have to start doing it. Because the hardest part to start rolling a rock is to get out of the couch and start doing it. Because after that, the momentum will kick in and it will gonna be much more easier. The Mondays or maybe New Year promise to yourself, it will not help you with discipline. You will have the same excuse why you're not doing it, same as you have it today. So just start doing it. If you want to go and do wildlife photography, just take your phone, take your old camera or anything that you have, go outside, find the wildlife, find everything that moves. Maybe the trees are the thing that moves. Just take a picture and come back tomorrow. And you will see completely different wildlife and you will have new encounters with animals. Nature teach patience, awareness, respect, discipline. And the only promise that you have to make to yourself for the next year is that you will show up in the nature even though you don't want to, or maybe there's bad weather, but you will show up. And these 10 minutes into the nature will not only give you good pictures, but it will clear your mind. And if you got inspired and if you are interested about videos about wildlife, consider subscribing. And now you can go and watch my previous video, how walking can change your mindset. Stay wild.